They don't care about citizenship status. They don't care about due process. They don't even care about immigration. These federal agents are undermining the trust in law enforcement that we have been working really hard to rebuild over the past 3 years. These rogue federal agents are taking us backwards as a city. They are causing chaos and confusion. In response, the city of Chicago must respond with accountability and transparency. The ICE unnoticed executive order is a step towards justice. This executive order will make Chicago the first city in the country to set the groundwork to prosecute ICE and Border Patrol agents for criminal misconduct. Because we need to send a clear message. If the federal government will not hold these rogue actors accountable, then Chicago will do everything in our power to bring these agents to justice. As part of this order, our police department will document ICE and Border Patrol activity and attempt to identify officers on the scene. This evidence will then be preserved and, at the direction of my office, will be referred to the state's attorney's office for potential prosecution. The Trump administration has made it clear that they do intend to return to our city in force in the coming spring. This order is a step towards making sure that Chicago is prepared. We will continue to learn from and work with other cities across the country as we all confront this moment. Finally, as Dr. King predicted more than 60 years ago, Chicago can serve as a model of nonviolent resistance that has the power to arouse the conscience of the nation. And so today, we see a full manifestation of the consciousness of our nation coming to life by way of the greatest city in the world, the city of Chicago. In collaboration with community partners and local elected leaders, we will continue to not just go first in Chicago, but Chicago will lead this country. Thank you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Okay, I do have to use this. I prefer not to, but that's okay. Talk a little bit about, Mayor, about what is the state's attorney on board with this as well? Are we looking at just a state charge, civil or criminal? Are we looking at federal charges, perhaps civil rights, but even though that office has basically been obliterated? And can you talk about, are CPD officers expected to take a more robust role in involving themselves in any altercation? So are they detaining office agents? Are they arresting agents? Talk about the depth of this.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Well, first of all, the state's attorney, her office is in complete support of this executive order. In fact, what she has said and her office has said repeatedly, the reason why she has not moved forward with prosecution is because no evidence has been provided to her. Our office worked closely in collaboration with the state's attorney's office to ensure that this executive order will have the ability to do exactly what it is designed to do, which is ultimately to provide real accountability in this country, because right now we just don't have it at the federal level. As far as the activity of our local law enforcement, look, they have already been under an enormous amount of pressure, and quite frankly, even our local officers have been impacted by the indiscriminate releasing of tear gas on dozens of police officers. And so what this essentially will do, it will give a directive from my office to ensure that we're collecting evidence, that we're providing medical care on scenes, but also making sure that that evidence is turned over for prosecution. No, our local law enforcement will not be placing handcuffs on another law enforcement agency, because unlike the President of the United States of America, my executive order in no way is going to pit law enforcement against law enforcement. In fact, I remember once upon a time, I was old enough to remember when federal agents worked with our local police department to get illegal guns off the streets of Chicago, right? But this president, of course, has slashed the ATF budget, cut it by 30%, while guns are being trafficked to cities across America from states that voted for Donald Trump, right? So this is really about ensuring that there's a clear directive from me, provides a mechanism for our local police department to be able to provide evidence, but it also ensures, I want to make sure that this point is clear, that residents who have been harmed in the past through Midway Blitz, that this executive order allows for their evidence to be submitted as well. And when that probable cause has been established, we will make sure that it gets to the state's attorney for full prosecution.
That's right.
Hey, why now? Why didn't you do this earlier if you think it's an important idea?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's always the right time to ensure that justice prevails. There's always a right time to do that. And to be perfectly frank with you, did anybody in this room imagine that we would have a federal government that would not be accountable to its own rules and the Constitution itself? Right, as I said, that we're constantly evolving as we continue to respond to this unprecedented moment. So the time is always right to secure justice. And, again, we're living through some unimaginable times when you have an entire body of government that is not holding itself accountable. And so we have learned, and now as we have learned, we are putting forth this executive order at the very time at which, as we prepare for what could be a surge in the spring.
And you mentioned that this can apply to the past. What's a specific case that you think, prosecution should move forward in?
Well, look, there's too many to count, quite frankly, right? And so, one thing that I'm not going to do is interfere with justice. I'm just going to make sure that justice is served.
That's right.
There are other authorities too, like the state's attorney, that would have to move a prosecution forward. Are you going to try to use your bully pulpit to push them to prosecute if your police department recommends charges?
We're going to use the pulpit of the community. It's not just on the mayor of Chicago. This is a nationwide effort to hold an authoritarian regime accountable. Hey. Listen, if this was just about me, I would have beat him a long time ago. But this is about all of us, right? So we're going to continue to use the collective power. Look, you're looking at Chicago right here. Every single neighborhood is represented here. Every single people group is represented here. That's the authority that we're going to walk with in this season.
Come here. Okay.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, good. Good morning. Did you personally talk with the state's attorney while you were working on this? I have a statement from their office who says they look forward to reviewing the order now that we have received it. Were they not given a chance to review this before today?
We worked in collaboration with the state's attorney's office, the police department, our law department. All of us work together. We don't do sloppy work. We do our homework around here. There's too much at stake. In fact, she has made it very clear that she has not been able to move forward with prosecution because no evidence has been submitted to her. Now there's a mechanism in which evidence can be submitted to her. And that's a good thing for our democracy, and that's certainly a good thing for the people of Chicago.
And our understanding, we were told this could be applied retroactively to things that have happened this fall, this winter. Are there any potential shootings, alleged misconduct that has already occurred that you now believe should be forwarded to the state's attorney?
Again, as I said earlier, I'm not going to get in the way of an investigation or any of the evidence. all I can say is the people of Chicago asked me to do more.